We are going to see this in these tool options here on the left side. Here we have seen these three tool in our last chapter. This blend, contour, and the distort tool. Now it's a fourth tool. This is drop shadow tool. This tool is basically used to show shadow effects to an object. Okay. Now to see how this tool works, first we need an object on the sheet. So we'll draw a simple object. We have drawn an object. Now it's necessary to fill some color in this object. Then only is possible to see the shadow effect. Okay. So we'll fill some color. Now we'll go to this shadow effects. This is drop shadow. Here we go to this drop shadow, and through your mouse, by your left click on mouse, you drag your mouse. Okay, you drag. Now you will see a shadow effect on this particular object. Now the shadow can be moved as per your requirement with this particular tool here. This is the shadow tool. You see the black box, what you see. If you move that, the shadow moves accordingly. If you move here, the shadow moves here. The same way you can move it here anywhere you want to. Okay. Now this is how you use shadow effect on an object. Okay. Now to control the shadow opacity, this is the other tool here in between. You see that this is a small rectangular box. This is from where you can control the shadow effects, like if you want to put some depth in the shadow effect, you can do that from here. The shadow depth is increasing, the shadow color depth is increasing. So if you move it towards this black box, it will increase. If you move inside towards white box, it decreases. So this is 0. That means the shadow is there, but there is zero effect. So if you keep it in between, you will get a perfect shadow effect. This is how you give a shadow effect. Okay. Now the same thing can be operated through from here too. So these are the tool options here. As I always say, as if soon as you draw an object, if you fill some color, and when you start giving the tool effects on that particular object, the tool options changes here on the top bar. So here this is some shadow effect already given to an object. So this is X and Y this is your X, and this is Y. This is to move your object, to move a shadow. This is, you can move the shadow from a particular place. See, as you keep adding figures, if you put minus figure here, the shadow will move to your left side. Remove the minus from here, it will move to your right side. In the same way, if you put 0 here on X, it brings exactly in the center of an object. Same way, if you put 0 in Y, it brings exactly center to an object but behind the object. And if you add some figure here on Y, it moves on upwards. If you add minus to this figure, it moves downwards. In the same way, if you keep increasing, the shadow keeps on moving to that particular position. Okay. So this is how you can move the shadow. Either you can move it directly by keeping your mouse cursor, clicking this particular dark box and move from here, or you can move it from here too. If you want to move it exactly to some scale size, you can do this from here. Okay. And the next tool is, this is the drop shadow opacity. So let's see, if I click here, and you will get a small bar here, and below that you can move that bar and see the effect changes. See, there's the opacity changes. So what we were doing through this particular tool, that's the same thing, it happens from here by putting the figures. Okay. Like either I can move and change the shadow effect from here. I can move this particular small rectangular box here and change the shadow opacity effect, or I can go to this particular tool option here and I can change this is drop shadow opacity. Okay, I can change it from here too. The same thing, this is the short and easy way to operate your control your shadow effects, and this is through figures. Okay, and the next is, this is shadow feathering. We'll see the changes here. We'll move this particular bar here. As soon as you click this small line and a small box on the right hand side of these figures, So okay, you'll get a small drop down bar. Okay, as you move this bar, you'll see the effect. See the feather effect, what you see, the feather means the edges of this shadow. It keeps on it keeps mixing with the background, means it the edges, these are the edges of the shadow. As you increase this, the shadow feather, actually that's the technical word, that's called feather actually. The merging of this shadow, we see, with the background, with the sheet, this is the merging. Okay, it's at the edges, this at the end of the shadow edges here, it keeps on the opacity keeps on decreasing. Okay, and slowly it merges with the background. Okay, that effect, to increase or decrease that this particular effect, you have to control this from here. Okay, so as you increase, the shadow effects keeps on, it increases, but it slowly disappears, or it gets merged with the background. Okay, and if you keep it 0, it will show a flat line here at the edge. So we'll keep it slight, we'll increase the figure so that we'll get a perfect shadow effect. So that is the feather effect. This is shadow feathering. This can be controlled from here. There is no shortcut tool here to control the feather effect. You have to go to this tool and control it from here. Okay, this is the feather effects.